Happy December from Stampin' on the Hill. I'm Deb Keyes, and today I have for you, it's the first Monday of the month, so we're going to do a Stamping 301 series, and we're going to do double inking today. We're also going to feature the color wheel, which, let me show you my book, because there's one in the book. And the one in the book, actually, because this is the current annual catalog, and this one actually includes the Petunia Pop, the current in colors. So as in colors go, they introduce 5 in colors per year, and they're good for 2 years. So that as they rotate, that means that there are always 10 in colors per annual season. So anyway, the one in the book actually includes the in colors. And then let me show you. I'm going to flip to my screen here. I have the online store open on this screen, and this is the color coach, which actually only includes the core colors. So the in colors are not included, but you can actually purchase this color wheel, color coach. So anyhow, I wanted to share that with you because we're going to be, I'm going to be highlighting a little bit of how to use, or how I was using, the color wheel in my book in order to do this double inking process. Let's see, I'm going to move my book out of the way a minute, but and bring in the first project, which I'm going to call Thumping. So let me move the camera back down to my desktop here and show you. We're going to put this aside for a minute, and these are the supplies that I've brought into play in order to show you the thumping process. So you can see that I'm going to use, for the thumping process, we're going to use the pot, one of the pots in Planted Paradise. And then for our finished card, we also used Unbounded Love. So let's start with just a scrap. I'm just going to teach you the technique here. I'm not going to actually show you the like making full cards. Grab a piece of scrap paper here, and we're going to use copper clay to start. So we're going to pop this open, and I'm going to, so this is the thumping technique. I'm going to ink this up in copper clay, and I'm going to stamp it off once. So that's what the scrap paper's for. And then I'm going to take my Stampin' Right marker. Now this is Cajun Craze. I'm going to use the brush tip end, not the bulleted point, but the brush tip end. And what you're going to do with this is kind of hold it toward the end of the barrel here, so that you can kind of, it may be easier to describe as I'm doing it. And I'm just going to use my thumb. Let me see if I can get this in, and squeeze and let it thump. So I'm going to kind of thump it onto, and you can do all different kinds of directions. You know, you can turn the stamp, turn your wrist a little bit with the marker in it, whichever works best for you. But this is kind of what we're doing here. So this is the thumping technique. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp this down onto my paper, and it's going to give it just a little bit of texture. So that's one way to double ink your stamps. And like I said, I'll bring this in. So I use that technique to make the pots for my card here. I ended up using the copper clay as the base, the card base. and I stamped the same leaves. The leaves I did here are in shaded spruce, but then I stamped those leaves in copper clay on copper clay for the rest of this card. So let me move this out of the way. That's number 1. And then the second double inking technique that I want to show you is called rock and roll. So with the rock and roll, I've got another little piece here, and we're gonna, for this one, I'm using the Cheerful Daisies stamp set. And I just picked the smallest, let me bring this back in. I picked the smallest outline and then the inside, the solid one that goes with it, just to teach you how to do the technique is all. So, and I also have 3 colors. I'm using crushed curry. And okay, so I got to show you this because in our color theory on our first card, we had Cajun Craze and Copper Clay right next to each other on the color wheel. In this one, we're using Granny Apple Green and Lemon Lime Twist. No, that's not true. I'm sorry. Crushed Curry, Daffodil Delight, and Lemon Lolly. Those are the 3 we're using on the color wheel here. So Crushed Curry, Lemon Lolly, and Daffodil Delight. So we're going to start with the crushed curry, and I'm going to stamp the outline. Let's get the outline stamp going on here. And then we're going to stamp this. And I'm just showing you the example here. And then I'll show you the finished card when we're finished, because this is just the technique. So just because I have my little chamois here, just to clean that off a minute. So whenever you're doing like 2 inks, I forgot to tell you this in the first time, but whenever you're using 2 inks, you're always going to want to ink in your lightest color first. And especially when you're using the pads. With the markers, it didn't matter as much, but we're going to start with the Lemon Lolly here for this one. This one's a tough one to open. I guess I should use this more often. You'll find that when you use them more often, they're easier to open. And then we're going to use the solid. So we're going to ink this up in the lightest color, Lemon Lolly. We're going to ink the whole thing good. And then we're also going to use Daffodil Delight. And what we're going to do is, now that this is inked already, right, in the lightest color, now we're going to sort of roll it on the edges around our Daffodil Delight. So if you can see what I'm doing, I'm just sort of rolling the edges here. And sometimes you just need to move it around a little bit. There we go. I'm not sure if you can actually see that, but you can see just the edges are a little bit darker. So then this is a 2-step stamping. So we're going to line this up, making sure you can actually see what I'm doing. Line this up with our lines that we did in crushed curry. And then there you go. So you see a little bit darker shading on the tips of the petals here, and that's the Daffodil Delight, but then the insides are the Lemon Lolly. So I'm hoping you can see that okay. So that's the technique number 2. Close my ink pads up before I stick my fingers in them. And so that's number 2. So for the sample that I did for that, I ended up stamping the middles with crushed curry again. So I had the outlines in crushed curry and then the centers in crushed curry, Lemon Lolly with Daffodil Delight. And I ended up using the eyelet 3D embossing folder on this one. I think the rest of the stamps are all in the Cheerful Daisies. So I used the leaf and the stem for this one, and I did it in Garden Green. And then I added a little bit of black baker's twine. So that's that one. Get these out of the way here. And let's see, for the third option, this is called streaking. And I'm going to show you quick with my leaf collection stamp, and we're using lemon lime twist and granny apple green. Again, with the color wheel, they're right next to each other on the wheel. So let's see here. We're going to start with the lightest color, and we're going to use the whole thing, and I'll show you when you see the sample, you'll see why. But so lemon lime twist is the lighter of the two colors. So you know that when you put these together, there's these finger grips, right? So when you're using a big stamp like this, you use the finger grips and you stamp it this way. And you'll notice that I didn't even bother getting a block out because it sticks to the inside of the stamp case. So I don't even bother getting a block for this. I'm hoping that here's my I have a different piece of scrap paper. Okay, so I'm inking it all up. Then I'm going to take my darker color, granny apple green. Sure I am. Okay. I'm going to take the darker color and I'm going to lightly streak. I'm going to drag this across very lightly to streak my greens together here. You can add as much or as little as you want. Okay. And now I'm going to take my cardstock and I'm going to gently set it down. You want to make sure that you sort of just drop it. It might not be perfectly straight, but it's okay. It's better than like trying to adjust it once it's down because you'll smear it. So then I'm going to take a piece of scrap paper and then I'm going to just give this a nice press, make sure that I'm picking up all of the ink. So this is kind of like reverse stamping. Normally, you ink up your stamp and you set it down on top of your paper. And this way, we're putting the paper on top of our background stamp. And then we're going to lift it up. Now, can you see those streaks in there? Can you see them? I'm trying to see on the screen to see if you can see what I'm seeing. But you can see the darker colors here and you can see the streaks going through. So anyway, so that's the idea with streaking, double inking with streaking. And let me show you. I didn't actually make anything with the greens. I used the copper clay and the Cajun craze to make my sample. And I used the same big size. So this is well, it goes this way. It's 5 by 4, 5¼ by 4 is how this was. And then I cut it into 1-inch strips. And then when I was done, I ended up having little pieces at the end. So this is what I backed them with a solid piece. This is early espresso that I used for the back layer, the matting for each of the strips. This Speedy Recovery is from the Sweetly Scripted stamp set, which is kind of cool for doing long. And then, so anyway, when I cut these down, after I cut them into strips, and then I cut them down to the right size of the stamped image, I had these pieces left over. So I thought, well, this is kind of fun. I'll just make it into a little window like this. So I was able to use the scrap. I wanted to make sure I showed you that. And I'm probably going to do something similar with this piece, but for the sake of time, I didn't do all of that. So what do you think? Please make sure when you're going to like re-ink let me start again. When you're inking up your stamps to do 2 colors on one stamp, always use the first color first or the lightest color first, and then put the darker color on top of it, whether you're thumping it or rocking and rolling it in the darker color or streaking. The streak comes in the darker color as well. And then make sure if you're going to do it again, in the case of my pots, find that one a second. On the case of my pots, let me jump back down here so you can see what I'm talking about. In the case of my pots, make sure you clean your stamp in between each time and then start all over again with a fresh, clean stamp. That way, you are not contaminating your lightest color inks. Inks are kind of expensive, right? So we don't want to contaminate them by accidentally putting a darker color in there. That will contaminate and ruin your ink pad. So let's not do that. So anyway, I guess I hope you learned something. I hope you give the double inking a try, and I would love it if you would give me a thumbs up, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. That's how we all, create, and we all grow from everybody else liking and subscribing to our channels. So I would appreciate very much if you would do that. If you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, let me know in the comments. I will be happy to be your demonstrator. And until next time, thanks for watching. Hey, it's Deb Kais with Stampin' on the Hill. Thanks for joining me. I just wanted to quick put a plug in for Stampin' Up! And the great company that they are to work for. As a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I'm able to pre-order products before any customers can actually get them, which gives me an opportunity to use them, try to make some samples to show you all at first or whatever. Right now, we have and I pre-ordered this, so I pre-recorded this video as well. But I wanted to do an unboxing of a couple of the things that I ordered and let you know too that although I ordered some current product, you can mix and match. When you're a demonstrator, you can do these things, mix and match pre-order stuff with stuff that's still current that might be going out in the previous catalog. So at this particular moment, the pre-order for the January through April, I'm going to put my hands down here a second. The January through April mini catalog is out. I'm not allowed to, well, at the time I'm doing this, I'm not allowed to show it to you. Although by the time this actually airs, I will be able to show it to you. But so January through April, mini catalog, and you also know that Celebration happens January, February every year. So the freebies are awesome as usual. There are a couple of different price points. So if you spend $60, then you get to see some of the things get something for free. And if you spend $120, you get some different types of things for free. Or you can have two of the $60 items for free if you do the $120 purchase. A lot of the items in the Celebration catalog will coordinate with some of the things in the mini catalog. So be sure that you are asking me for a copy of both of these catalogs. But let's get on to the unboxing because I'm so excited. I got this and it's so hard. Do you find that it's hard when you get a box in the mail? I try to think about the unboxing portion of it and I want to record it, but man, when it comes, it is hard not to open it until you get your camera ready, isn't it? So here we go. Let's see what we've got. All right. So this off to the side so I can open it a little bit better. All right. So we always get some bubble wrap in there. And then what do we have? Oh, this is beautiful bokeh. So this is the DSP. Maybe I should open it for you. You should flip through it and see what it looks like. What do you think? I always open mine like this. And then like this. So let's just flip. Can you see the back sides too? I don't know. Some yellows and blues. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. Hang on, I gotta put my glasses on. So the colors in here: Balmy Blue, Berry Burst, Calypso Coral, Daffodil Delight, and Fresh Freesia. So this is part of a suite, or yeah, it is part of a suite. I got an embossing folder, which is the Starstruck embossing folder. And oh yeah, this is the suite, the beautiful butterflies. So this, I've never had one of these before, so I can't wait to show you once I actually open it up. This is a hybrid embossing folder, which means that it will cut, so there's dies and it embosses. Stay tuned for more on that because I'm so excited. Oh yeah, I forgot. I did early espresso. So I've been you knew I've been trying to update my my ink pads to go with the newer, and even though this is a current ink and I have the older style pad, I've been trying to update those. So whenever I order ink pad, I order the refill as well because the ink is different. Here's another tip for you. If you own some older ink pads that the color is still current, your new inks, you refill inks, will more than likely ruin that pad. So it's not a good combination. Oh yeah, in January, we are going to be making cards at the card class, and it's going to feature the 5 in colors from this year, the 2024 through 26 in colors. And so I needed to get some more of those colors for that particular class. Let's see. Oh, beautiful butterfly stamp set. That's the one that goes with this. And then so this was the suite, actually, the Boca DSP, the Stampin' Cut and Emboss folder with the dies and the beautiful butterflies. So I can't wait to try that and see what we're getting. The falling snow it's from the, at the time you're watching this now, you can't get any of these anymore. So this one and this one, you're not able to get anymore because it was only through December. So again, like I said, if you're a demonstrator, you can combine these two mini catalogs and get them, but you can't do that anymore. Become a demonstrator. There you go. So this one, oops, let me see what I'm doing here. This one is the Natural Botanicals stamp set, which you know what? I think that this Boca DSP, I think this was a freebie from the celebration. I think that was that because see, I can't remember, but the Natural Botanicals was one of those reversible stamps that I kind of wanted to try, and I thought this would be really cool. So anyway, but I think this was a freebie, and then this DSP as well. This is Bloom Impressions. I want to say this was. I lost my scissors. I want to open this. There we go. This DSP, I think, was a freebie from the Celebration catalog as well. So, easy for me to open, right? Come on. Keep going. There we go. All right. Let's see what this one looks like. So 1, 2 of each. Oh, cool. Very cool. Oh, I like those little flowers. Wow. Look at how it looks like just painted stuff. Oh, that's kind of the same one as this one, right? Only in a different color. Yep, different colors, but it's kind of the same. And this one, oh, this one's got more of an ombre look on the back. Oh, this is really pretty. I like that. Oh, and this one reminds me of clouds. So that's kind of cool. I'm excited to use this too. But this again was this one was free for sure. The Bloom Impressions DSP, 12 by 12 DSP. So that was here we go. Sometimes me and this camera, this streaming process, we just don't get along very well. Anyhow, that's the unboxing. I'm so excited to use these products and show you what I can make with them for you. Anyway, again, if you need a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, please give me a call or message me. I'd be happy to be your demonstrator. And until next time, thanks for watching.